Rick Harrison's story is often told through flashing lights, television edits, and quick deals across a glass counter, but its real origin is far less polished. Before the fame, before the crowds outside a pawn shop in Las Vegas, there was a boy learning how unstable life could be. Born in Lexington, North Carolina in 1965 and raised in a Navy family, he grew up in constant motion, shaped by discipline, uncertainty, and the kind of instability that quietly forces a child to grow up faster than planned. Childhood on the move and the search for stability. Rick's early years were defined by relocation after relocation, as his father's military career moved the family across states. Just as friendships began to form, they were left behind, replaced by new schools and unfamiliar routines. For a child, that constant reset can quietly erase any sense of permanence. Home was not a place, but a temporary arrangement, and stability was something he had to imagine rather than experience. That early instability later shaped how he viewed ownership, value, and the meaning of holding on to something real. Living with epilepsy in an era of misunderstanding. At around 8 years old, Rick experienced his first epileptic seizure, a condition that in the 1970s was poorly understood and often stigmatized. Instead of support, children like him frequently faced confusion or isolation. The episodes made concentration difficult and disrupted his education, but the social impact was just as heavy. Being different in visible, uncontrollable ways can make childhood feel like constant exposure. Rather than retreat, he began developing resilience early, learning how to function in environments that did not always know how to include him. Education built outside the classroom walls. Traditional schooling became inconsistent due to both illness and relocation, so Rick turned inward toward self-education. He read constantly, exploring subjects far beyond his grade level: history, economics, biographies, and military strategy. These were not assignments, but choices, and that distinction mattered. In place of formal structure, he built his own framework of understanding. This independent learning style later became central to how he evaluated objects and people alike, relying on observation, pattern recognition, and accumulated knowledge rather than formal credentials or institutional validation. Las Vegas and the decision to leave school behind. When the family eventually settled in Las Vegas, the city's contrasts left a strong impression. Casinos promised instant transformation, but behind them were quieter struggles and instability. At 17, Rick dropped out of high school, a decision seen by many as failure, but by him as alignment with reality. School had not been a stable anchor, and the traditional path no longer felt like his. Instead, he gravitated toward practical work, where results were immediate, measurable, and less dependent on systems that had never fully supported him. The pawn shop that became a family gamble. In 1988, his father opened the gold and silver pawn shop on Las Vegas Boulevard. It was not an instant success or a glamorous venture, but a small business built on necessity and risk. Rick began working there, learning directly from experience rather than theory. The shop dealt in other people's emergencies, items sold for rent money, forgotten heirlooms, and uncertain valuables. Every transaction required judgment and negotiation. What looked like clutter to one person might carry hidden worth, and learning to see that difference became the foundation of everything that followed: struggle, survival, and the weight of early responsibility. The early years of the pawn shop were financially uncertain. Some months brought enough to survive. Others brought doubt about whether the business could continue. Rick, still young, absorbed both the operational demands and emotional pressure of keeping it alive. At the same time, he was navigating early adulthood, marriage, and fatherhood. His responsibilities expanded faster than stability could catch up. The shop was not just a workplace, but a pressure chamber where business survival and personal life constantly collided. each demanding attention the other could not always receive. Family, marriage, and the cost of constant work. Rick's first marriage brought 2 sons, Corey and Adam, but the demands of building a business often pulled him away from home. Long hours behind the counter meant less time for the routines of parenting that quietly shaped childhood. Like many driven entrepreneurs, he existed in 2 roles that rarely balanced easily: provider and presence. The strain contributed to the eventual breakdown of relationships, adding emotional complexity to financial struggle. Success in business did not automatically translate into stability at home, and that gap widened over time, learning the language of value and trust. Over the years, Rick developed a deep expertise in assessing objects, coins, artifacts, watches, and historical pieces, often identifying value others overlooked. But equally important was learning people. Every transaction involved negotiation, timing, and psychology. Trust became a currency as important as money. The shop gradually earned a reputation for straightforward dealings, attracting not just desperate sellers, but collectors and specialists. What began as survival evolved into mastery, built on observation, patience, and the accumulated knowledge of thousands of daily interactions across the counter. The arrival of cameras and unexpected fame. In 2009, television producers turned their attention to the shop, leading to Pawn Stars on the History Channel. The show became an unexpected cultural phenomenon, not because it was manufactured drama, but because it felt unfiltered. Rick was not performing a character. He was simply doing what he had done for years. Audiences connected with the authenticity of negotiation and expertise. Fame arrived quickly, transforming the shop into a global destination. Tourists lined up outside, and a local business became an international symbol of curiosity and value, success, visibility, and the hidden pressures of fame. With visibility came pressure. Filming schedules blended with real business operations, sometimes blurring the line between entertainment and everyday work. Public recognition increased, but so did scrutiny. Every deal could be analyzed, every decision debated. While the show brought financial success and global attention, it also created distance between public perception and private reality. Rick often found himself navigating both worlds simultaneously, balancing the expectations of viewers with the responsibilities of running a functioning business rooted in real transactions and real people. Losses that fame could not shield. Behind the success were personal losses that shaped him deeply. The death of his father in 2018 marked the loss of the man who had started the pawn shop and influenced his work ethic. Years later, in 2024, the death of his son Adam from an accidental overdose brought another profound tragedy. These events could not be absorbed by success or softened by recognition. They altered his perspective on time, family, and legacy, shifting focus away from expansion and toward presence, reflection, and the irreversible nature of loss. What remains? After the deals are done today, Rick Harrison remains behind the same counter, but the meaning of that space has changed. The shop still operates, the show continues, and the business stands as a recognizable landmark. Yet the measure of his life is no longer only financial or public. It is shaped by experience, loss, and endurance. The story is not simply about building an empire from little, but about the cost of building anything at all. In the end, what remains is not just what was gained, but what could never be replaced.